Right. Dude, I'm so stoked to be talking to you. How's it going?
Oh, not too bad, not too bad. I was a little tired there, so I'm glad I messaged you when I did.
Yeah, it worked out, man. Firstly, for a YouTuber, not the most tech savvy guy, I guess.
Oh no, no, I had this trouble before. Like I have to ask my wife every single time I need to use an email or anything like that, or any trouble like logging into my YouTube. I'm like, honey, you gotta help me, and she's not home right now, so.
It's okay. It's okay, man. Well, I'm glad
Well,
I was able to
we,
get you on here. What's
yeah,
that?
yeah. Oh, I was just gonna say we figured out way I could just click the Zoom. It
Yes, it worked out,
works like
man. Well, I just want to start off by saying I'm a big fan of your YouTube channel.
that. Oh, awesome.
Big
Thank you.
fan. Yeah, yeah. I think you're a character, and I love characters. And in fact, I was
Exactly.
actually yeah, no, characters are honestly spice of life. I was actually curious about you, like who are you? Like where do you come from? Where are you? Like I'm just curious about you.
In the middle of the woods, off more woods, and like areas that people would call woods.
You're being
And
serious.
then, oh yeah, no, I'm on a mountain somewhere,
Okay.
middle of nowhere. Yeah.
You're in America
I,
though.
no,
Okay.
I'm North America, I guess.
Canada?
Yeah, I'm a Canadian. You never heard me say I'm a Canadian?
No, I never heard you say that yet.
Canadian.
Yeah, I figured. I figured. Okay. And your voice. Tell me about your voice.
It's a radio voice.
Have you
It's a
done radio?
blessing. It's just a blessing. You
Yeah.
know,
Have you
it's like
done
people being
radio?
born. No, but I did want to get involved with that
Hmm.
radio broadcasting when I was in high school. So, but
But
that's as far as it went.
hey, man, but now you got a YouTube channel.
Exactly. So I did end up using the voice.
It worked out. It worked out. And it's such a joy to listen to, honestly. Bodybuilding. How long have you been a fan? Like, tell me about that.
Ah, I always loved bodybuilding. It's like one of those things that somebody asks you, like, when did you see an apple the first time? It's like, I don't know. I've always known about apples.
Yeah.
And we've
Yeah.
always just, like, my grandfather would do the big poses and flexes. He competed in like strongman competitions way
Okay.
back, way back when.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
It was a
Absolutely.
pretty, it was a pretty cool story about that too, but I never really gone into it too much because it kind of sounds prefabricated. It sounds like it's made up. But he
Hmm.
competed in like weightlifting competitions way back in I believe the 40s, early 40s, late 30s, and he competed against a guy named Ed Terrio. And I didn't know anything about this Ed Terrio. I just heard about it growing up. My dad would talk about him. They seen him. They actually seen him in gyms and stuff. Just a short fellow. And I just found out a couple of years ago he was the very first ever employee signed by Joe Weider, this Ed Terrio guy.
Hmm.
I'm like, wow. And there's
Yeah.
pictures of him doing a handstand on Joe Weider's desk. I have a picture of my grandfather doing a handstand. It's the kind of similar type, you could tell that. Like I learned that from my family. So it's like, it's up to me whether I believe it or not. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's no pictures or anything like that.
Yeah. That's
But
really cool, man. I actually just watched there's a biopic of Joe Weider. It's like a
okay.
feature-length film. Um with like, they have like an Arnold Schwarzenegger. They have an actor playing Arnold Schwarzenegger and they just go through Joe Weider's life and career as he ascends the ranks of becoming the
Right.
father of modern day bodybuilding. And
It was
yeah,
the
it
Australian
was
guy played Arnold.
the
The
Australian guy,
Australian guy,
Callum.
Callum Von Moger. I couldn't
Yeah.
think of his name.
Yeah.
Right.
Did you see it?
Oh yeah.
What'd you think of it?
Compared to seeing Arnold run, it was the best movie I've ever seen. Bodybuilding
Mm,
movies always suck.
yeah, yeah, it's a
If you've
very
ever seen See Arnold Run,
no. Is
ooh,
that his biopic?
it's kind of revolves around the 1974 Olympia where Arnold's running for the mayor or whatever he did. So he's running for mayor in 2005, whatever it was, and he's thinking back all the while to 1974 when and they had Ralph, not Ralph Moeller, Roland kick a girl, kicking her, kick a kid. He's kicking something. Roland.
Hmm. Hmm.
He played Arnold.
I remember seeing a scene. I was young. I was in my teenage years, and I'd seen a scene from this what you're referring to, and I thought it was so cool because like in the scene, he's at a beach talking to his girlfriend, and he's talking about all the things that he wants to accomplish before he accomplishes them. How he wants to be a
Yeah.
movie star, how he wants to be a governor, and stuff like that. So that always stuck with me as I continued to move through life, being able to predict the future based off of. I mean, Arnold's an incredibly talented, intelligent, charismatic, ambitious individual, and he's a person that I respect as an individual who, if he was able to pull it off, then that means someone else can too. You know,
It's very, very intelligent man.
very intelligent. Yeah, yeah. Nice, nice. So yeah, I was really interested in talking to you just because I love a person who is opinionated and is passionate about a thing, that thing being bodybuilding in this particular topic. And I wanted to kind of let you know about this project that I'm working on, which is essentially I want to do a bodybuilding reboot. And before I dive deeper into it, I want to ask you specifically as a person who is a big level enthusiast of the sport. How do you feel that it has grown and evolved from the golden era into 2026? How do we feel about how the physiques have changed, how the judging criteria has continued to prioritize size and mass over flow, shape, other aspects of aesthetics? I would just love to get your take on how the sport has changed over the past many decades.
It's grown
It's grown.
extensively. It's grown extensively. But what people have to understand, there's all these things at work, and they all have to work with each other. Sure, put on the size. 1990s. Boom. Awesome. They're winning competitions. Striated condition, winning competitions, they're even better. They're starting to die. Okay, we have to come lean back on that. So they weren't as ripped, I don't think. There was guys that were, but then there was guys that weren't. But then they just got bigger and bigger, but then the bodies they kept coming too, right? So they had to kind of lean back a little bit. Dexter Jackson, he won it, and that was a huge, huge shift back. And I think that was probably maybe done purposely. They needed a small guy because everybody was just pushing the size to chase after Ronnie. So there was even more bodies. So, and Dexter actually the lightest champion since 83,
Did not know that. I did not
I
know that.
think.
Yeah.
There's no
Lightest
way he was
champion.
heavier than Lee Haney.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Haney,
How do you feel about that though? How do you feel about judges
well,
constantly rewarding more body, more size?
that's the fans and the revenue with the
Okay.
size. But where the real revenue is, I think, is a beautiful shapes. Your
Okay.
Andrew
So
Jacks.
I mean, you're preaching to the choir. Why are we the only ones saying that? Why are the judges not rewarding that? Why are the powers that be so far as Tyler Mannion and the entire IFBB head promoters?
They have been more.
Okay. Through classic
Samson
physique?
won. Samson won. Well, there's been a lot of bodies coming from classic physique too. Getting
Yeah.
them weights down and stressing on that body. And these
Yeah.
guys are huge. They're
Yeah.
monsters.
Yeah. Hmm.
So that's not I would say put them all into the same division. But then there's less contracts, there's less people making money, and that's all these things have are at work. So you
Hmm.
can't just throw on the classic physiques, all Andrew Jacks,
Yeah.
Raphael Bandaus.
Yeah.
No, you got to have the muscle heads, want Nick Walkers, and your so everything has to be. So you can't just clean it up all of a sudden.
No. Yeah.
Not going to make any money.
Yeah. And I understand that everyone is in the business of making money. That's why people do anything. Um, how do you feel about the word bloated, the sport, by way of IFBB becoming a bit bloated?
Bloated physiques.
Bloated physiques, bloated, yeah, yeah, bloated physiques, bloated physiques.
I'm so tired of Derek Lunsford's physique.
Me too.
It's just that's enough. I I can support it enough for a little while, but it's too much.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not a great physique. It should not represent the best physique on the planet. There's too many things that he does not have.
Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. Let's jump back because I feel like I'm meeting a kindred spirit and it feels like I've been talking to myself for like 2 or 3 years since I've been working on this project. So to hear someone else speaking some sanity is just it's hits me right here. 1970. All right, so what's your favorite era?
80s probably.
Lee Haney?
Uh I like that cloudy spook days of bodybuilding
Okay. Okay.
prior to Lee Haney.
Okay. So Samir,
Oh
give me some.
yeah.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, the worst ever champion, they say, Chris Dickerson. I could sit down and watch the 82 Olympia right now. Actually, if you don't mind, we'll give it a little view. I'm just joking. No, I love watching that
Okay.
Olympia. And when
Okay.
they stand up on the thing, you can see their silhouette. You hear
Hmm.
so many old people talk about them scenes. It's because it's cool.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
tell who everyone is.
Yeah. Funny thing about Chris Dickerson, I've never been able to become a fan of him because of his elbows.
Did you know he was the oldest debuting Olympian
No, I did not know that.
prior to
Dexter. Prior to who?
Phil Clahar?
No, I did not know this.
Made his debut, Olympia
Right.
debut. Phil
Yeah.
Clahar debuted at 49.
Wow.
Yeah. Well,
Wow.
Dickerson won the title at 43, but I
Okay.
said debut. He
Yeah.
debuted just a few years prior when he
Yeah.
was 40.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he never competed the Olympia till he was 40.
That's incredible. That's very impressive.
So he's
Shout
no
out.
spring chicken, is why
Yeah.
his physique wasn't, he's older than Larry Scott, for goodness sakes.
That's very, yeah. That's actually,
He's a year younger than Scott. But I mean,
I get it. I get it. Yeah. So, your knowledge is I'm a huge fan of. So you got 19 early 1980s as the crisp, the most crisp time.
funnest to watch, like
Yeah, the
for a
funnest to
fan.
watch. Right.
Yeah.
When do you think from that point it started tapering off so far as what the judges were prioritizing and rewarding?
It revolves around who's the champion. Always
Okay.
has.
Okay.
Always has. You can basically look at second prize, who was winning second prize. That's kind of where they were shifting. You could see the
Hmm.
condition, Rich Gaspari.
Hmm.
You could see they were first rewarding that type of hard graininess. Because there was guys prior to that with striated glutes nobody talks about. Boyer Co. pulled it off before that. And Bill Grant, heck, Paul Grant, throw both of the Grants in there. They were shredded to the dice, but they weren't
Hmm.
rewarding them.
Right. So what changed?
Dorian won the title and he was the most striated. If he didn't get peeled, then they wouldn't have really.
Paid attention to him.
Well, he would have won the title. He didn't. He was already. If he had stayed the same type of condition as your
Hmm.
Lavronis and stuff,
Hmm.
he still would have been the biggest guy there, and he would have
Right.
still won. But he wanted to get shredded. He just loved it.
Yeah. Interesting. Interesting. I think the trouble that I'm running into with the sport is, let's take Frank Zane, for example, who happens to be one of, if not my favorite bodybuilders ever. I think his physique is so streamlined, it's so complete, and it's not trying to be something else. It's Frank Zane's physique. He's not chasing after size. He's not chasing after, he's not looking to be compared against another athlete in the sport. He's just looking to perfect his physique in the best way that he can. And I find it so fascinating that that individual won 3 times during the heyday of, granted, he didn't win against Arnold Schwarzenegger, but he was winning against comparable physiques to Arnold Schwarzenegger. He beat he beat Tom Platz, I believe he's beaten, right?
Well, Tom was 81 was Tom's good year, and that
And
was
that was
just so
when
happened to been
Franco.
when Zane boycotted or tried to boycott. So they didn't really compete at their best
Sure, sure.
because then Tom cut his bicep off, tore his bicep off the following year, and Zane did place ahead of him, probably
Frank
because of
beat
bicep.
Mike Menser.
Menzer was the guy that placed second,
Yeah, yeah.
but he placed second to two different guys each year.
Mm.
Once in his weight class, and then they
Hmm.
did the overall. So it was
Hmm.
Boyer Coe and Mike Menzer, I believe, in 79. And the year prior, it would have been Robinson.
Oh, okay.
Robbie got two
Interesting.
titles. Yeah, Robbie won the Olympia title twice.
As a Masters.
No, a
Robbie
heavyweight.
Robinson?
A heavyweight.
Oh,
But
okay. Got
he
it.
lost the overall.
Got it. Got it. Okay.
He still won. He won.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I guess this is the point that I want to arrive at. So you got Robbie Robinson in the mix, you got Mike Menser, you got Boyer Coe, and Frank Zane's physique, who, I mean, if you look at the way that the sport has progressed since the 1970s, Frank Zane's physique was not the ideal physique for an athlete to present on stage and win a championship. Yet Frank Zane won three times. And to me, what's interesting is I understand that the whole sport is called bodybuilding, and the nature of that word, if you break it down, you're building your body. You're supposed to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And this is why we're at where we're at within 2026, where the physiques, like I use the word bloatation, there is a bloatation to these physiques because the steroids improve, the gear gets more advanced, and they're just keep pushing the limit as to what you can present on stage so far as size, mass, and drastically out of proportion physiques that are no longer realistic. I asked the question, well, what could we have done if we were to have rewritten the trajectory of the sport? Frank Zane had what it took to win. What could we have done for that to continue happening?
Nothing with Lee Haney. Nothing happened there, or nothing was wrong there. He had a great physique. It would have been Flex Wheeler in 93. That's it. Would
Yeah.
have changed the path.
Mm-hmm. 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 And I think there's a couple of times that there could have been a course correction. I think the year that Dorian Yates had that bicep tear.
Sean Ray plays second.
Exactly, exactly. And all of these kind of missed opportunities where they're still rewarding the mass monster even when there's a flaw or an issue and it's debatable and they're still giving it to them. That kind of cements the mindset of the athletes within the sport. Okay, size is the only thing to pursue. And now you have us at 2026 where we're both in agreement. Derek Lunsford should not be the pinnacle of what a bodybuilder should look like.
And it's not that he's too big. It's just his body parts are really squishy, like a big bowl of soft soup,
Yeah.
slippery soup sandwiches all over the place.
Yeah. So I want to do something about it, which is why I'm proposing a reboot. I want to reboot the sport. And I want to leave IFBB as it is because to me it's already bloated and I'm not looking to enter that federation and change it from the inside. Instead, I would just like to do an entirely different storyline. And that storyline is grounded around natural bodybuilding and presenting who is the greatest natural bodybuilder of our era to lead the movement to the next pinnacle of the sport.
No, that's a great idea.
What
The
thoughts
thing,
come to mind?
the thing about natural bodybuilding is,
And you saw some of the guys that I sent over, right?
yes,
Okay.
yes. Now, it's going to sound like I'm probably half loony, but it would change the very core of bodybuilding if these athletes had to stay natural till they were, I don't know, throw a number out there, 27.
Hmm.
Because when you build a physique naturally, first, without gear, you build the physiques that we seen in the 70s, the real types of physiques. That's the only way. Because these guys, when they were kids, they weren't on gear
Yeah.
back then. They probably didn't even know what it was.
Yeah.
Soon as they got juiced, it's their natural physiques got enhanced. But the bloated like, that you're talking about, these guys are building their physiques. So even if these guys didn't stick into this natural federation, it would be a great way to say if it was at like an Olympic level, which could never be. Well, figure skating is. You tell me the difference.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if these guys strived to get this natural, like 16-year-old kids, they don't want to get it natural. They want to get it now, now, now.
There's this one athlete, I'll just put on your radar. Maybe you know him. It's likely that you don't. His name is Samuel Hartman. He's a French bodybuilder, and he was a high level natural bodybuilder for a decade, if not longer. And he's been winning. He competes in WMBF, which is a natural federation. And I think 2023, around that time, he decided to pursue the enhanced path. And I took a look at his physique today, right before hopping on this Zoom call. And the difference between this longtime natural bodybuilder transitioning into the sport as an enhanced athlete, the way that his physique looks compared to just an enhanced athlete who is just kind of jumping on gear.
Always been on the gear.
Yeah, it is just,
Hunter Labrada.
yes, yeah,
I like Hunter. I like Hunter, but he looks like he's born with some gear.
exactly. Exactly. And I'm looking at his physique and it truly brings me back to the 1980s where it's like, oh, it
That's
looks like
why
that. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Exactly.
Keon's got one of the best physiques.
Who?
Yeah, Keon Pearson.
Oh,
Like
okay.
he's
Yeah.
he's had
Yeah.
some midsection issues, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But aside from that, I'm talking about his physique. And he was supposedly natural for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
So that
Exactly.
would explain why he looks so darn good.
Agreed. 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 How do you feel about, because you mentioned it a couple times in your content, the use of synthol PMMDs or PMAs,
Is
oil
that the new
injections?
one? So
Yeah.
synthol, like I heard somebody say it the other day, it's like saying Kleenex for facial tissue.
Hmm.
Because synthol is just like a brand name,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
Yeah, it's all I mean, you can no, it's not that. It's and then you figure out what it is. Well, it's basically that. It's
Yeah.
they're putting it's not muscle. It's not
Yeah.
muscle.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I think it's terrible, but
Okay.
there's no way to monitor it. And everybody's done it. They're all doing it.
Everyone's dying. Okay. Yeah. So here's the thing that I observed watching the Joe Weider biopic Bigger. I'm being inspired because Joe Weider himself is presenting his goal of unifying nations through bodybuilding. That was like the Weider vision, which is why they invented the IFBB. Ben Weider specifically states that bodybuilding is essential to nation building, and this competition is essential to bodybuilding. And that's exactly what I want to do with the project that I'm working on called the Natty King, which is essentially crowning the next great sports icon to come out of bodybuilding, only ensuring that it's a natural athlete. When I think about what Joe Weider and Ben Weider's intentions were so far as the promotion of bodybuilding, it was grounded in health and wellness and longevity. There is scientific proof that suggests if you prioritize resistance training, it's basically an anti-aging routine. You train your
Absolutely.
muscles. Yeah, absolutely. However, the way that IFBB, which is like the top representative of the sport, has guided the athletes to this, again, we'll use the word bloated, this bloated representation of what a high level physique can look like, it no longer serves the purpose of properly representing health and wellness and longevity. And
And that goes
so,
against what he wanted.
was that?
That just goes against what he wanted.
Exactly, exactly. And even within the film, they don't mention steroids one time. And I understand this is a Hollywood production, but we're talking about synthol, and you're saying how like everyone does it. If an athlete gets interviewed on a Tonight Show and it's like a mainstream media appearance, they do not talk about the steroid usage. And I ask myself the question, why aren't we mentioning it? If it's something that is heavily used in order to arrive at this level of physique, then why are we being so sweeping it under the rug. It's almost to suggest that you're not supposed to be doing it.
Well, it's illegal. That's why
There
it's
you
not
go.
on TV. That's why it's not on TV.
Yeah.
It
It's
used to
sick.
be. I remember watching it on TSN or something of that nature
Hmm.
when I was a
Hmm.
kid. I
Hmm.
don't know what events it was, but I remember watching bodybuilding.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So you're hitting all the right points. It's illegal. It's life-threatening. It doesn't properly promote health and wellness since to take steroids, you're shortening your lifespan as opposed to lengthening it. So at the end
Maybe.
hmm?
Maybe.
Maybe. Yeah. Correct. No, you're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. But it does make me ask the question, if Joe Weider's goal, so far as everything that he accomplished in his life, was to promote health and wellness, and he did that by having people like Arnold Schwarzenegger as the face of his movement, as the face of his sport, even though he's using steroids. When you look at how this sport has changed as a result of them rewarding the bigger size, it has destroyed his entire intention for what the sport was supposed to be.
Well, the thing of it is, also, on another argument side, who was the biggest guy? Dorian. He was the biggest, yeah. And maybe Coleman was the next one. And Jay Cutler. They're all still alive. Those ones are all still alive. It seemed like it was the lesser gifted guys that are
Mm,
pushing it. And would lead me back to your natural federation. Guys with bad genetics wouldn't get into the sport to begin
yeah,
with.
yeah, yeah,
And that's the waste. But how are you going to tell a man that has already dedicated his life? He's 300 pounds. You know by his physique, he's only going to make it so far.
yeah.
But how are you going to tell that guy that? He doesn't want to hear it.
Well, steroids aren't going to miraculously change your genetics overnight. They're just going to give you bigger muscles.
The champion will always be the champion.
Yeah.
They say who's taking the most gear? Guy placing last. He's on the most gear.
That also goes to my point. So, do we believe that that famous Ronnie Coleman photo where he declares that he was natural in that photo? Are we in agreement? Let's just say for hypothetical purposes that he's 100% natural in that photo, where he's in the purple trunks.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
91, 90.
Yeah.
Even if he's not, that is attainable with
Okay.
all perfect genetics training. It is.
Yeah.
Even if that isn't natural, that's obtainable.
Okay. So let's
Right?
say he is natural in that photo. Okay. How do we feel about that physique as a natural physique and having athletes compared against that physique so far as who's the best bodybuilder? Because Ronnie Coleman is the greatest bodybuilder of all time, right?
That
So
would be the best physique.
yeah. Okay. And so with or without steroids, Ronnie Coleman would still be considered the greatest of all time,
Haney might get him.
with or without steroids.
Yeah. Haney was natural in 1990.
Okay.
But then
So
I argue, weren't they taking gear for the last 8 years? Does muscle not have memory?
right.
You build muscle for 8 years, that bicep's not gonna go away. You're still gonna have a substantial amount of tissue built
Right.
from steroids. So none of those guys were ever natural.
Yeah.
But I believe Haney, there's been a few, believe it or not, Marcus Rule, I think would have been massive naturally. I've seen some pictures of him when he was really young. Vic Richards, another. You ever see pictures of him when he was 14? He
Mm-mm.
was a man.
What about the Lee Priest photo of him in
Oh,
the bush?
Steve Priest, another genetically gifted.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So the point that I'm aiming to arrive at, and you listed a lot of great athletes. The point that I want to arrive at is without the steroid usage, the greats would still be the greats.
100%.
And yeah, so it begs the question, well, why did steroids get in the mix in the first place?
Well, Superman on TV would be more muscular than Mr. Olympia because movie stars surely would take steroids.
Mm, okay.
So
Okay.
you'd run into that issue too. Look at wrestling, pro wrestling. Right when they decided to go natural in the IFBB, you had guys like the Ultimate Warrior. It's like, well, the pro wrestlers are going to look bigger than the bodybuilders.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
there's a problem there. They tested them in WWF.
Right. Yeah, and my argument to that is I'm not convinced that bigger is better.
No,
Yeah. Yeah.
no, it ain't.
Yeah. And even within the product of WWF, when the steroid scandal came out, it was around the time that Vince McMahon was doing his own bodybuilding federation,
Exactly.
and he got into a lot of hot water so far as the steroid usage. And they
Talk
started,
about bad timing.
yeah, right, exactly. But he had to promote smaller athletes, Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, um, other individuals who are presenting as,
Well, also, not to interrupt you, but at that point in time, he also employed the tactics of one 7 foot Diesel. He's still
mm,
a monster,
Andre.
7 feet. No, Diesel.
Diesel.
This
Yeah,
was
yeah,
way after
yeah,
Andre.
yeah, Diesel.
But also, you could be giant without having to take the gear.
Yeah,
And a 600-pound Yokozuna, and that was his flavor of the month. Great big fat guys,
yeah.
because you could still have the monsters without the steroids. But
Wow.
75 cheeseburgers an hour kills you worse than steroids do.
Hmm.
So
That's a very
that's,
good point. Yeah. So Vince
but
has
he
always been he likes the circus act. He likes the freak show.
huge, big,
Yeah.
big, giant man. He wants them.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Okay, so and you're that's fine. I'm getting I have a IG live scheduled with an enhanced athlete. He just turned IFBB pro. I'm chatting with him this upcoming Tuesday, basically to have a debate with him where he is saying that natural bodybuilding will never be as big as the enhanced side because people want to see the freaks. And I'm in complete disagreement with him because I believe that that's just one market. The freak show, the circus act, the mass over everything is just one market of an audience, and that natural bodybuilding, by way of properly promoting these athletes, we can bring it back closer to the 1970s and 1980s, where these athletes are just presenting completely aesthetic physiques.
See, the money has to be there. If you had more money, the best bodybuilders in the world would go compete in the Natural Federation, and their physiques would probably be better than the enhanced guys with bad genetics. The best of the best,
Yeah.
but they would all have to do it. You know what I mean? They would all, but the if the money was there,
Hmm.
it's just it'll take a while, but there's been a lot of deaths, and they're
Right.
getting more and more. I mean, it's obvious. I don't have to discuss them. I don't have to make a post every time somebody dies, but everybody that follows bodybuilding, they see the posts. And it seems younger and younger, and then it's the size. They're 300 pounds in the off season, they're going down and they're going up.
How do you think without, because I'm doing everything in my power to literally structure a reboot within the sport. Without this reboot, how do you see the sport improving? How do you see, I mean, are we in agreement that so far as like the size game, it capped at Ronnie Coleman?
Mm, Phil was a lot smaller structurally. He was pushing the size more than Ronnie, maybe in
Hmm.
that sense. Like the
Hmm.
midsection,
Hmm.
Ronnie was just a big horse.
Yeah.
Clydesdale, structurally. But no, well, look at Kai and guys like Wolf. They were really pushing the size too, their
Hmm.
midsections.
Hmm.
And that was the bubble gut era. That was the epitome. But
Right.
they do the Sean Roden, taper it back a little bit. After that, you had Brandon Curry, great physique. And then you kind of plateaued with your Ramrod, Big Rammy, because he had the small physique too. He was huge. But
Hmm.
then he had all these troubles. And what's that come from? Sites, perhaps? I don't know. Maybe. So there's all kinds of problems that
Yeah.
occur that come out later on.
But I'll ask you the question again. How do you see this sport going? How, like,
It's they're just gonna
uh-oh, connection issue? Oh, wait, I lost you for a second. Say that again.
oh yeah, sorry. No, it's gonna go through the same revolution. Like the guts are gone, but now there's oil everywhere. There's no definition in the arms, so we're really pushing for that. And a better structure, a 4'2" Mr. Olympia champion. I got nothing against short fellers. I'm one myself, you know,
Mm-hmm.
but I was a tiny pro wrestler too, and I hated small wrestlers. It
Mm-hmm.
should be a
Mm-hmm.
spectacle, like bodybuilders. It's not for everybody. It's for
Let
the
me ask
hand.
you, yeah, let me ask you this hypothetical. All right, so there's an ebb and flow to how judges prioritize. Let's say Frank Zane and his physique existed in 2026, and he's competing at the Mr. Olympia in 2026, and he's going against Derek Lunsford, Hadi Choopan, Samson Dauda, Andrew Jacked, and he looks like Frank Zane. How do you like how are you making an
Uh,
assessment based off of yeah,
the 189 pound or the 90, he's only going to be able to go so far with that.
sure. But I guess the question I ask you is, do we prefer Derek Lunsford's physique over Frank Zane's physique?
To look at, but it's not going to win unless you penalize these soft, squishy arms. And if
Okay.
you, if I mean, is there no pen tests? You get one of these little click pens, you know what I mean? The ones that go click, click. If you push it in and it doesn't click,
Mm-hmm.
oil, or it's just soft muscle, it should click every time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They went around with poking sticks, the very first ever bodybuilding competition. The great competition, Eugene Sandow and three of his comrades, they went around with a little poking stick. Hmm, he seems to be hard enough.
Yeah. Yeah. But what if we just stop cheating? You know? Just
They won't. They won't. And the thing about Frank Zane, even if he did, like people say Arnold, guys like that, Arnold wanted to do one thing, win. And if a bloated physique full of oil wins, that's probably what he would have did.
yeah.
It's the mentality, right?
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate. But where is it going to go? It's just going to keep doing that. We're going to get rid of the oil, maybe. Get some guys with some good arms in there, Nick Walker. But then the guts are going to come back and people are going to complain about that. And then
Conceptually speaking, do you think there's a way to because I understand what you're saying, and this is something I've been thinking about for some time. Arnold Schwarzenegger's goal was to win. So if when steroids were presented to him, take these steroids, you will win Mr. Olympia titles if you take these steroids. Okay, bet. Fast forward, you got Flex Wheeler, you got Derek Lunsford potentially. Flex Wheel at least admits to taking synthol. So you've got these athletes who are being encouraged by their coaches and influences to inject these things, steroids, synthol, oil, whatever, in order to get closer to winning a championship. Is there a way to, I don't know if it's I want to work with athletes who it's not win by any cost, it's win with integrity. I want to recruit athletes, natural athletes who are more committed to the process of achieving greatness on their own merit rather than the use of external substances that is completely superficial and does not align with their values.
there would also be issues that would arise.
Tell me.
I'm trying to think of his name. Mike Mike Christian? No,
Oh, I know that guy.
not Mike Christian. Well, he did pass the test in the 1990 Olympia. No, Mike. For goodness sakes, he won the Arnold. Mike Ashley.
Sounds very familiar.
Yes. Now,
Mm-hmm.
Mike Ashley, lifetime natty, passed all the tests.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to sit here with my bare face hanging out and tell you that I believe he was natural.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. I absolutely don't think that he was. If you look at that physique. So how did, well, he passed the test somehow. He cheated. So that would be a problem that would arise too. Would it be that obvious? Not really. Not if a guy with bad genetics got on the gear, he would just look like a guy with really super good genetics. So he would have to be really monitored.
Yeah. Almost over monitored.
And that, if you check that out, it gets costly,
Yeah. Yeah. And it
very
also,
costly.
it for me, it sort of defeats the purpose. For me, it sort of defeats the purpose because I'm not looking to over monitor anyone. And then it becomes kind of like Big Brother, you know?
Yeah.
Like let's say because the project that I'm working on, it's taking 30 natural bodybuilders from around the world to compete for the title of the Natty King and be crowned uh, the greatest natural bodybuilder of the era and having that mean something. So in this scenario where these athletes have physiques that are so insane that nobody wants to believe that they're natural. And they're doing, like, let's say, quarterly blood tests. Well, quarterly blood tests aren't enough to prove that this person's natural. They could be cheating in between the quarterly blood tests. They could be hopping off right before. And it's like, at what point is enough enough? Are we supposed to put cameras in every single room that they enter? It just gets kind of ridiculous.
Yeah. Nobody would believe the actual, if there was, it would be Ronnie or it would be Lee Haney. It would be one of those guys. If they were 100% natural, nobody would believe it. And they would tell you, well, no bodybuilder's worth their salt to do it because the best bodybuilder would know that he could win the big bucks. But then if you do put the big bucks into it, that's where the cheating would come in.
I know, I
They
know.
would,
The minute
they would
that
punish.
the stakes raise, that's when there is an incentive to cheat.
Yeah. It's the honor system, the honorly system. Like people ask me, my little online competition, is it tested? Is it tested? What do you want me to do? Hand out tests and just trust that they're going to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So obviously, you can't test for an online competition. And then people are like, well, do a division where you can. It's like, that doesn't make sense because somebody's going to take a little bit of gear and they're going to, but yeah, it's for the guys that want to do it.
Hmm.
What you have to do is start at like a whole island and just keep the steroids away from that island. Or better yet, a whole planet. Like I was watching Star Trek the other
Yeah.
day. No.
Yeah. No, so just to recap what you're saying, if there's stakes involved, then the desire for cheat becomes unavoidable.
Like people were getting busted in 1990. So obviously, these people thought they were going to pass.
Hmm.
It's like they caught some Russians taking steroids in the Olympics. It's like, wake up and smell the roses. These athletes are all the same size. Some of them got caught. Some of them didn't.
Mm.
You
Mm.
know what I mean?
Hmm. Damn.
So they're tricky.
Shit.
Hey, I'm not trying to discourage it. I
No.
I think I think it's great for the health.
Hmm.
For the health, you would have to push that. But the thing of it is, you could probably take an Olympic athlete, not an Olympian, an Olympic athlete going for the gold medal at the Olympics. You say, take this pill, you'll win gold, but you'll die in 5 years. How many would take it? Because
A
they're
lot.
young,
A
young
lot.
and dumb,
Yeah. A lot would
right?
take it. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's definitely not the message that we're going for, you know?
But when you're a little older, when you're 20, 21, you think, I don't want to live past 40. It's
Hmm.
like you get to your 40, it's like this is just the start of living.
Yeah.
You just, want to relax now, or if you're lucky enough not to have to slave labor like I used to, used to have to work for a living, you know.
I think there's something in these athletes because I've listened to a lot of interviews. I've listened to Phil Heath. Phil Heath being a perfect example. He'll be on a podcast talking about how he took less steroids than everyone else.
For sure he did.
And when I hear a
Well, not
statement like,
everybody else, but yeah.
yeah, or like I think I've heard Lee Priest say something to that effect as well. And when I hear comments like that, to me, it's saying, oh, I cheated less than everyone else because nobody wants to acknowledge the fact that you're
That's what it
using
seems.
enhancement. You get what I'm saying?
Seems like they're bragging a little bit.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I took the illegal substance that enhances my muscles. I took less than that, even though I could have taken more because everyone else was taking more. I chose not to take more because I didn't need to. And if I didn't take any of them, then I wouldn't have been competitive. Just the entire psychology behind that. It's like, okay, I wanted to win. I had to cheat in order to win, but I didn't have to cheat as much as the next person, and I still won.
Yeah, but it's not really cheating if everybody's doing it, except
It's
for
not
Darren
really,
Darren
it's not really
Charles.
cheating.
Darren Charles, he was quite natural, was he not?
Who?
Darren Charles.
Don't know this one.
What?
No, I don't know this one.
Come on. Darren Charles competed more at more Olympia events than anybody
Really?
that didn't place in like the top five or so.
Okay, okay. I'll have to look him up.
Darren Charles, and you can tell by his biceps. Like a couple of
Mm,
the pictures of the
hmm
guys you sent me,
hmm
you see the bicep peaks. That's a natural friggin' bicep.
Thank you for saying
That's
that.
what that's called.
Thank you for
Look at
saying that.
Darren Charles' bicep.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. How do you feel about the idea? So bodybuilding is completely saturated with steroid usage. You can't be a high level performing bodybuilder without the use of steroids.
Well, that's fact of life, I guess.
Right.
You can't
How
be
would
an
you
adult
feel?
without going through some stress.
Right. Yeah, sure, sure. How would you feel if that saturation was a part of every sport across the globe? Every sport that you can think of, if you want to be a high level performer within that sport, you are incentivized to take steroids because it's open use. Coaches, everyone is incentivizing the use of steroids across the globe.
Who's to say it's not? Even the Tour de France had more people taking steroids in it than any sport ever. I think they got 92% of them or something. They called it the Tour of Shame. And these guys are skinny cyclists. Look at baseball in the 1990s, all on gear.
So bodybuilding is really the only sport that's just
Bodybuilding's obvious. You can't hide it.
obvious. Yeah.
You can pack Mark McGuire. You
hmm
can pack him into a suit and you can't tell he's a juice monkey.
hmm
His brother was a steroid. He was a bodybuilder. So
Yeah.
that's probably where he got the steroids. You ever see
This,
Mark McGuire's brother?
no, I haven't. I
He's a
haven't.
full-blown competitive bodybuilder.
So you're helping me arrive at the purpose of, and I don't know if I introduced myself properly, but I'm a filmmaker and a documentarian, and I'm looking to tell a story that starts within the fitness industry and bodybuilding, but very similar to Arnold Schwarzenegger. I want to tell the story of a natural athlete who transcends the sport of bodybuilding into movies and then politics. And the goal of that is to present an individual who leads with integrity and virtue, and he keeps those core values across these different industries, first starting in fitness, then in Hollywood and entertainment, and then finishing in politics. So that by the time that he makes it into politics, we have an individual that we believe in, that when he says something, we have an entire track record of decades of time in different industries where he lives by the same ideals that he espouses. And when I listen to you and I hear the psychology of the athletes that you're describing, whether it be in bodybuilding, where it's obvious that people are using steroids, or it's in a different sport where there's a likelihood, if you're a top performer within a different sport, you've been incentivized to take steroids. How can we trust the best of the best in any field, in any industry, if we're led to believe that everyone's lying?
You can't. And you'll never know because there's no way to tell if somebody did take it. Only that person would know. So it is the moral issue. Can you live with yourself? But if it was heavily tested, testing gets better. Like people are dismissing the testing. It's like,
Mhm.
well, they can pass the test. Not if you sit there with a gun and pee in that bottle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It has
Yeah.
to be more, but it gets costly, but it could be done.
Okay. And I guess it's just out of the question. The whole concept of just like, I trust this person, I trust this man. When this man tells me that I am a lifetime natural, that's not, there's no value to that. Or could we build that value? Could we build that trust over the course of the duration of this project that I'm working on?
There's a lot of naysayers.
Okay.
You got to kind of just do it.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're going to do what you're going to do, present your product. If you're going to do a natural show, do it to the best of your abilities, have the best athletes, and see how that goes. But you're going to have naysayers beforehand trying to get it out of your mind that it's going to work. It's going to be success. They're going to say, no, nobody likes natural bodybuilding. Nobody likes it. If you're pushing without, well, you got to kind of discourage the bloated physiques, but without really saying these guys over here are cheating. More glorify these guys are 100% natural, 100%. And with today, people are smart. Bodybuilding fans are smart. There's going to be a physique that they're going to see, and they're, oh, well, that's not natural. So it could work. It could work because these guys will be too scared. If you're
Mm,
promoting this as natural, 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 you'll have some of the juiced up guys coming over saying, "Hey, listen, I know what you're on." Somebody would rat them out. People
right.
are more likely to rat nowadays too.
Got it. Got it. Got it. All right. All right. And just to go back to that Frank Zane versus, let's say, a Derek Lunsford, man, I think Frank Zane wins.
Well, he does if they test.
I think
I
he wins regardless.
I believe my wife is home.
Oh, it's
She
cool.
can
This.
help me with my email.
Oh, no worries. No worries.
No, no, I'm just kidding.
No. But yeah, I just think if I were to compare Frank Zane to any current Mr. Olympia competitor, I'd have to give the victory to Frank Zane.
Because of how he's winning,
I just like his physique more.
well, there's going to be certain shots where there's just like I'll do the comparison. I'll do the comparison right now.
Hmm.
I'll pull
Frank
it back.
Zane, Derek Lunsford.
I'll write it in my little
Yeah, that'd be
Frank
great. I'm looking forward to seeing that one.
Dane and Derek.
Yeah,
Wishy washy arms.
yeah.
We got a good lineup this week.
Nice.
Lee Haney versus Kevin Lavroni.
Ooh,
Lee Priest versus Andrew Jacked.
okay, that's an interesting one.
And then I got Frank Zane versus Derek Lunsford, and we're waiting on that fourth one.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, no. So at the end of the day, I think that there's a place for size in the sport. Like I said, at the end of the day, it's called bodybuilding, and I do acknowledge that. However, I don't feel that size should be everything. And so far as the promotion that I want to work on, so far as the Natty King and crowning the next sports icon to come out of bodybuilding, size is going to be one aspect, but then it's going to be shape, then it's going to be conditioning, then it's going to be presentation. And at the end of the day, posing takes center stage so far as the Natty King project.
We didn't even get into posing.
I know.
And not to champion Derek here or anything like that, or Hattie, but they're not the biggest guys. It's the quality of the physiques.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, all right. You look nice.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. The married life.
I'm looking forward to it. But
No,
you're
it's good. It's good.
yeah,
I like
of
it.
course, of
Been
course.
with her for 16 years.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
One day for me. But you were saying posing.
Yeah. You can't pose when look at Nick Walker trying to hit these poses like this with a big blockade ab sticking out. It's like, well, these guys can't hit these shots. It's like, well, Bob Ciccarello, oh, well, just don't hit it if you're not have the right shape. It's like, Bob, none of them have the right shape to hit these. Who was it? Crezo tried to hit a aesthetic pose. Bobby Chick got all over his case.
And we're just laying over and letting it happen.
Well, I'm not going to tell Crezo how to pose. He's never going to stop shaking.
How do you think Joe Weider would feel about the current state of his IFBB?
Wow, I gotta say, they're a little too big. I was gonna make a movie, but I'm not gonna now. They're too big. He wants health producing, like Mr. Broccoli or something like that.
I
They
think health
named it Olympia.
producing. Yeah, I think health producing was always the goal, and
Yeah.
the physiques don't represent health producing anymore.
No.
Yeah.
No. Well, you'll see. Look at the Olympias that are Mr. Olympias that are dying. Who was the first one that died? Larry Scott. That's the way it should be, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then maybe Franco, Sergio, but shortly before or after, it was Roden,
Mm-hmm.
2018.
Yeah.
So that's a sign, you know. Even you look at the third place guys. Nasser, he's gone.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Mm-hmm.
guys Boyer Coe, Robbie Robinson. They're still posed down, them two fellers.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
Beckles. Beckles still alive. Ah,
Yeah. Yeah. It's a very good point. All
they
right.
were on gear. They were on gear, but they would take it differently. They would take it leading up to a competition.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like they're on gear all year long. And that's your killer.
I get you, man. I get you. Yeah. So just to summarize my stance, posing, complete reboot, going back to 70s, 80s vibes, steroids not even being a part of the equation because at this point, the athletes that I have discovered that I'm recruiting to be a part of this project have physiques comparable to the top athletes in the 70s and 80s. So we don't need steroids.
If you could take today's training, today's nutrition, even today's supplements, creatine, BCAAs, whatever, all of that versus the way they trained in the 70s. Hey, they had heart, but I'm sure there was a lot of things they were doing wrong, training, dieting. So you could pretty much match a guy on gear from the 70s with today's science.
Yeah. Yeah. And the physiques were prettier.
And would that not draw more fans in? Look how many people like Andrew Jacked.
So I think we have a clear vision as to like what of what we're looking to hit. Now it's just a matter of hitting it. And you stated that. So we just got to do the thing. But I thoroughly enjoyed the opportunity to chat with you and I would love to call this an introduction to just meeting you. I'm looking forward to the point where we actually pull this project off. We crown the Natty King, and now we're doing comparisons of the top athletes within the natural realm on your channel because like that'll be when I know that it's come full circle.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah, man.
And there'd be never any question. Mark's max muscle is natural. I've
Exactly.
never been accused of taking the steroids.
Well, well, hey, maybe we'll get you as like a cameo, like a guest appearance on there. That'd be dope.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I'll be doing a guest posing for my own little contest this year.
Nice, bro.
Yeah. Diet down one more time.
Let's go. That's
I don't know how
awesome.
you guys doing.
It's fun.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Fun till you forget about it and then you try to do the diet again to
I,
get
I
healed.
yeah. I also want to say I think it's so cool how your eye for detail. Uh, a person who's passionate about anything, I just have a lot of respect for and admiration for. Not everyone has high levels of passion walking around, so I really appreciate what you do and the content that you put out, and just you taking the time to chat with me.
Oh man, anytime. I'll do podcasts, whatever, talk bodybuilding.
Yeah, yeah, we'll definitely do it again.
No, for sure.
Cool, man. Well, I'm gonna eat some ground beef, some rice, and then I got leg day.
Yeah, I'm going a little low carb today.
Nice.
Why I've been so moody.
If you call that moody.
No, I'm good. I still I eat lots of fats, so
Oh, okay. Kind of keto.
well, I hate names. It
Ah,
is what it is. I'll put something in if I need it. If I lean down, I'll just eat fish.
makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah,
I like it.
yeah. I'm not a bodybuilder.
Sure, sure. I get it. Well, dude, this is great. We'll do it again.
Yep, for sure. Peace out, man.
All right, I'll talk to you soon.
Yep, see ya.
Peace.